And here's a look, guys, at the inside. Excuse my wires that I've like thrown everywhere. They're just sitting there for now. But as you can see behind the bar and then on the other side of the steering wheel, it's kind of hidden by the wires now. But this used to be an AC car. So my dad put the little pieces of metal where the AC vents used to be and made those switches, which those were pretty old school. So now you can't see through the light bar. Let me see if I can get it. There's a switch panel up there. Yep, barely hanging on because I don't have it mounted correctly. Yep. Yet I will mount it correctly. But and my shifter that's not mounted. But yeah, I'm gonna have the switches up on the roll cage now and hopefully find some vents to put back where those switches are. I hate that he put rivets in there. I'm trying to keep the original dash in here as long as possible. But yeah, the 90s version of himself and the now version of himself are two different things. I would open the door and show you a little better, but like I said, the front end isn't shimmed yet, so it's not lined up. And it cracks even more if you accidentally forget and try to open the door. But yeah, I finally took the tiny steering wheel off. Now I have a regular size steering wheel. It used to look like I had a go-kart steering wheel. I don't know what my dad was thinking. But this is the inside. You can see my track rocker box. I'll show y'all up close better. It's not mounted correctly either. I pulled the little sheet off the other day because we were putting something else on. I can't remember what we were wiring. Oh, we were drilling in, we were making holes so that way we could mount the solid state relay on there. And so I had to pull it off. I'll actually explain how I did that, and it's not amazing, but it works. I'll probably go back and do something better one day, but I'm pretty proud of how I have that rigged up for now. And then you can see the rest of it. There's gonna be carpet in the car, but for now, obviously we're not finished with it. See my one cool over? And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a back seat yet or not, but I need to seal these holes and at least put some kind of carpet back down. I have the carpet out of a 67 Camaro that I think I'm just gonna throw in there. Okay, so let's take a look at my little panel with all my wiring. So that's actually a sheet of metal that I had cut. Jeff Moore was nice enough to cut that for me. And then we kind of put some texture on it just because why not? Made it a little shiny and it didn't look all dull anymore. I drilled the 4 holes in it, and underneath the 4 holes there are spacers to keep it off and to keep the vibration down. The spacers actually consist of, and I'll have to show you on another video since I can't open the door, but it's a washer glued to a piece of hose and then another washer, and so it's spaced out on all 4 corners that way, and it works well. And then the holes go through the floor pan, and obviously I bolted on the other side, but it's worked well so far. Is it absolutely ideal? Probably not, but it looks decent and it got me to where I need to be. And then for space wise, the track rocker box is mounted upside down technically according to the cover, because right now you can't tell because the wire's coming down all silly right there. It actually goes up and around because it's so long, but I didn't want to cut it because it's a main harness that came put together already connected to the box. So I have everything on there. You can see my 2 terminals, my Holly, and there's actually space between the Holly and the track rocker. You just can't see it because of the way the cover is sitting on there. And then everything's easily spaced out. And then you can see my little relay fuse deal that I had to use. Dang it, I'm losing my mind and I can't remember who makes it. Oh, it's Leash, I believe. Maybe? Well, it's a performance company that makes it, and I had to use it because I have smart coils on here. Do I necessarily need smart coils? No, I really don't for this build. But they came off a car that we had bought, or my dad had bought technically. But he was nice enough to let me have them, and so I threw them on there. I didn't know how that all worked when I got them, but I was like, hey, these smart coils look nice, why don't I use them? And that turned out really great. So you can see how it's all mounted in there. I'm pretty proud of it. It's gonna look better once I get it back in place. We moved it and it has the wires all looking crazy, but until I can open the doors I can't really do much with it because I don't feel like being Dukes of Hazzard and jumping in through the window. I just really don't want to. Since we were talking about the wires and the ignition coils, I'll go ahead and show you where I have them mounted on the frame rails. See, there's not much room to play with where my headers are, where the roll bar comes out, and everything. And as you can see from previous videos, like my firewall barely has any room. Where that's the easy side too at that. And I tried putting the coils on the valve covers, of course, first, but even with the motion bracket that moves them up, they didn't fit. With the headers, they were just going to be too close. And so this side is a little bit harder to see, but you can kind of see them down in there if my camera will focus. And so they're mounted on that frame rail. You can see the steering rack and everything's in the way. There's some wires that are going to have to be moved and zip tied up. Oh, this does not want to focus on that. But I made it work for now. And that's why my old master cylinder was the original master cylinder to the car. And it had the proportioning valve in the lines on this side, which was not going to work. I actually don't even have this exhaust pipe moved over as much as it's supposed to. It's supposed to move over more towards this, as if there is more room. But it's supposed to be a little bit closer, so that way then that will come out where it needs to be and I can cut that. Like I said, it's past the firewall. It might just be by like a hair, but you can see my exhaust is past the firewall. I'll show you on this side too. So like I said, I don't have this one adjusted either. It needs to be closer to that bar. They need to be as up against this way as they can, because it's already been rubbing. Let's see if I can see. We were moving the tires around, and you can see where it's already been rubbing on the exhaust wrap. So for me to be able to turn fully both ways, we gotta keep it exactly where it needs to be. And then I'll cut the exhaust and I'll have Jeff put another pie cut in, and we'll be able to bring it up a little bit more so that way I'm not scraping it everywhere. Hopefully everything sits pretty low.